Hello everybody, this is Valhallagamingtv and this is the channel that plays everything so you don't have to. Today we're here with a tutorial on how to plan your factory. Right now we're looking at a factory that produces reinforced plates, and I'm going to show you the process that I go through in order to make a factory efficient and fit in the area that I want it to build in. So let's go through it step by step and I'll show you my process. Okay, so first things first. When you're building a factory, don't worry about the fact that I'm flying and stuff like that. Let's go back to ground level here. When you're building a factory, you just want to have foundations and an area that's flat. The foundations are nice, especially if you have them like the metal or the concrete, because it allows you to do measurements a little bit easier. And you can make factories look pretty nice. Right now, I didn't really worry about too much of like making it really compact, but it's more along the lines of understanding how the factory is built and how we can expand on it in the future. So the first thing we need to do is two things. One, we need to know the input. So for example, we look and see the nodes down there. We got to know how much ore is coming in to the factory. And then we also got to know how much power we have to make sure that we can build the factory that we need. So let's go down here and check out the nodes. Okay, we are down here at the nodes. Now we have a normal node and another normal node. These are iron nodes, and these are MK2 miners, and these are both producing 300 per minute because I'm using shards. It doesn't really matter too much about having an MK2 miner or using shards to produce more. What matters is how much you're bringing in. So if you're bringing in 300, 120, 60, 30, all that, it all still applies based on how I'm building this. So right now we have two of these. These are both normal nodes. These are both bringing in 300 a minute, which is 600 total. Now, what you need to know is your conveyor belts. How much can you bring in per conveyor belt? MK1s can do 60, 120 for the 2, 270 for the MK3, 480 for MK4s, 780, and 1200 for MK6. So knowing that allows you to know how much you can pull in each line and what you can use it in the factory. So right now we have two 480s going in, and these are going to be 300 a piece. So if we put them both on one line, it wouldn't be able to efficiently pull everything up. So we have it in two, going all the way to the top. So let's return up top and talk about how we can utilize this iron ore to make reinforced plates. Now that we're back at the top and we have a flat surface to work on, we have the iron ore coming in. Right now I have a 480 MK4 conveyor belts. And since these are both 300, I just did a merger and put it together. So it'll have 480 because that's the max the conveyor belt can do. Even though we have more than what the conveyor belt handles, that'll max it out and allow us to have what we need. Now, the thing you need to figure out before you even start building a factory is like, what do you want to make? So a lot of times I like to go and press O, go into this and go reinforced plates right there. And this tells us we need 6 iron plates and 12 screws. This doesn't always tell exactly what I'm looking for. It looks like 30 per minute and 60 per minute, which this is more important. So what I like to do, that kind of tells us like what items we need, which is nice. But I'd like to just kind of build these things out and actually see what they need by like building constructors and selecting the items, because it tells you what it needs. Like 30 per minute and 20 per minute for the iron plates is what it produces. Now, if we go to the assembler, to the final item we're trying to make, this is the 30 per minute and the 60 per minute. Now we need to know that we can make that much and make it 100% efficiency. In order to do that, we got to make exactly that amount of items. Now the reason why there's 2 assemblers here is because you can see the 30 per minute here for the iron plates it requires. Now if we go back here to this constructor, they produce 20 per minute. So 20 doesn't go into 30 evenly. We can probably put a shard in here and increase it, and that would be 30 per minute. So that would be that would actually work. But the problem with using shards is that it exponentially grows your power. So it's usually better just to build multiple constructors instead of doing that, especially if you have power issues. So let's just go based off not using any shards and doing the base constructors without any power-ups. So basically they produce 20 a piece. So I did 20, 40, 60. There's 3 constructors producing them, and they produce 60 total. And now that we know that this number is 30, we can do 2 of these, which will equal 60. And that will make it divisible by itself, which is 100% efficiency. Now, if we go to this assembler again and look at the screws, we need 60 per minute. Now, how much screws can we make per constructor? We can make 40. So 40 doesn't go into 60 evenly. So you got to do some division here. So you go another 40, that's 80, still not the same. And then another 40, that's 120. So what's 60 times 2? 120. That means 3 of these constructors will produce 120 screws per minute, and they'll go into this evenly, meaning that's 100% efficient. Now, the middle ones here are the rods, which make 15 per minute. And to make the screws, you need rods. And we have 3 of these, so that means that there's 10, 20, 30. You need 10 per minute, which equals 30 per minute, which these two 15s equal 30, which means it's completely efficient in producing exactly what it needs in order to produce the 10 reinforced plates per minute, because this makes 5. If that was confusing at all, well, we'll talk about it a little bit more and see if we can clear that up for you. So the idea of building a factory like this is once you build the factory at 100% efficiency at the bare minimum, that will allow you to increase it and consistently keep it at 100% efficiency. So for example, if we wanted to produce, instead of just 10 per minute, we wanted 20 per minute, all you have to do is double everything, because you already have it at 100% efficiency. So now the way to do that is be like, okay, we have 3 constructors for the screws. Now we just put 6, and we put 2 of these, and 2 of those, and you put another 2, because that'll be 4, and that's 3. So times that by 2, 6, put 3 more down there. And then this is 4 smelters that are producing the iron ingots to handle the rest of the factory. Well, we're going to need more of that. So you're just going to times that by 2. It'll be 8. Now, the only problem you're going to have to run into here is figuring out if you have enough ore for everything. And the cool thing about the smelters is that they do a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that 30 iron ore that goes in, 30 iron ingots that come out. So if you have, like, let's say 480 coming in, let's see how much it takes. We have 4 of these. This is 30, 60, 90, 120. So we have 120 ingots per minute in order to fuel this entire area to make 10 reinforced plates. Now, if we double that, that's going to be 240. And then if we go again, that's going to be 360. Again, 480. Now, your limiting factor is going to be the conveyor belt. So if your conveyor belt, so I'm using the MK4 at the moment, that's going to be 480 resources per minute. So that means I can go up to 480 ore per minute coming from this one conveyor belt. And that's the size this factory can be, unless we add another input and more ore. So let's increase this real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. So all we got to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And because we're just multiplying, so 1, 2, 3, now times that by 2. 1, 2, 3, that's 6. Times that by 2, that's going to be 4. And then 1, 2, 3, times that by 2. 1, 2, 3, that's going to be 6. And then for the assemblers, we need 2 more. 1, 2. And now, just like that, we're making a factory that makes 20 reinforced plates, and it's taking 240. Now that we know that we can make 480 iron ore coming in here on one of these belts, that means that we can go out even further than that. We can go 1, 2. Let me do this right real quick. 2, 3, 4. And then we can go another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I have this set up the way it is, it means that I can actually expand that and keep it going. Now, the other thing we got to think about too is that we know that this belt here is going to be able to handle all this because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That means that 30 iron ore per minute is making 30 iron ingots per minute, which means that if we have 480 iron ore coming in, it's going to be 480 iron ingots on the belts, and these belts can handle that. Now, the other thing we got to think about, this is less, so that'll be fine too. But the problem we have is the screws. Now, the screws, these are going to be, for every 3 is 120. And the thing is that actually this is going to be able to handle 480. But when things like that do happen and you have more than you need on the belts, you're going to have to like split it off midway, and then you'll have to adjust your conveyor belt setup to fit the needs of your factory. So let me expand all this out and then connect it all up, and I'll show you what the factory looks like when it's all done. Okay, now the whole factory is complete, and this is what it's going to look like. It's all done, and this is going to be making 20 reinforced plates per minute. And it was all built off of doing the starter 100% efficiency factory, which was the bare minimum. So I guess minimum viable product, if that's what you want to call it. Basically, we go with the 2 assemblers, which produces 10. Then we go with the 3 constructors that produce 120 screws. The 2 rods, which produced 30 in order to do the 3 constructors of screws. Then we have the iron plates, which we do 3, which did 60 because they're 20 apiece. And we had 4 of these that produced 120 in order to feed and produce all those materials to make the 10. And then you just multiply that by 2 on each one. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, which in total will produce 480 iron ingots. And that all goes here into this storage. But this could be the output and go anywhere you want it to go. And that's how you build a factory. At least that's how I do it. If you guys thought this was helpful and you learned something from it, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you have any questions, or you can let me know something that you guys learned to help me out. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Hey, Valhalla Gaming TV community. Join me in a quick shout out of our community members that help support the channel. Check out our very first member of Odin's Ravens, Layu02. Thank you for your support, and see you all in the next video.